Oh boy, looks like it's my turn to shit on this little frog-faced gremlin. Oh yes, it's about that time. Now, I'd like to hope that if you stumbled across this video, you're probably familiar with who Mr. Jimmy James Stephen Donaldson is. But if you aren't, then, I don't know. You should probably be taking your hydrocodone pills or something. I don't know what the fuck you're doing here. But to sum up Jimmy's accomplishments, he essentially is the biggest creator and head of the biggest channel on YouTube as of this current moment. MrBeast, where he essentially does the impossible, monetary-wise at least, and uploads pretty much any out there and crazy idea that pops into his brain for the amusement of children and ADHD-riddled teens all around the world.
I put 100 people inside of a giant circle, and whoever leaves the circle last wins $500,000. But if you touch the red line, it's game over.
He's gotten so big at this point that I wouldn't even really classify him as a YouTuber anymore. More like a business mogul, especially with the amount of other companies and opportunities he's managed to create for himself. Now, personally, I don't watch MrBeast content. It's not really my thing. To me, he really is the modern day equivalent of those old YouTube videos from like 2015 or wherever, where people used to fill up their entire pools with Jello or some other dumb shit, but, you know, ratchet it up to insane levels in terms of the scope. It's impressive, don't get me wrong, but it's not really that entertaining to me outside of looking at whatever he managed to buy and or set up for a few seconds and going, ooh, wow, that's pretty impressive he managed to do that. Well, on to the next bit. It doesn't really help either that he has the personality of a piece of bread dipped in water, not to mention the way he interacts in his videos. It just seems really manufactured and calculated, and yeah, I don't know, it's not really my thing. I'm not a fan of it. But up until this point, I still respected what he managed to accomplish and was pretty indifferent to his existence on the platform. Up until the scandals dropped. Now, I could go into detail about every accusation MrBeast has been accused of over the last couple of weeks, but in all honesty, some of these accusations are kind of whatever. Like, oh, MrBeast said gamer words back in the early days of his career. Like, I just don't really care about that stuff. In fact, I would like MrBeast a lot more if he kept that same energy. Say it with me now, Jimmy. There's also the accusation he knowingly hired someone who was a registered PDF file. That one, I think, is probably among one of the worst. Like, I understand MrBeast is a large company, and in all likelihood, I bet Jimmy probably has fuck all to do with the hiring process for his staff anymore, and just signs off on whatever participant his team deems worthy. But at the very least, he is definitely showing extreme negligence here, and definitely should receive some type of suitable amount of flack for letting that hire slip through. There's also accusations of pushing gambling on kids and extreme pressure tactics in order to get subscriptions, and also allowing his transgender best friend to engage in blasphemous discussions with kids in his early Discord server. And now we also have a thief label that we can throw on good old Jim Bob as well, as yet another exposed video has come out recently from a channel called Ty Orr, accusing him of ripping off an idea for an obstacle course that he had. So yeah, MrBeast really is the gift that seems to keep on giving in terms of drama farming. But I thought we might as well take a look at this video from Ty Orr just to see how credible it is, and to discuss how this might affect Jimmy going forward.
Everything I'm about to say is 100% true, and if at any point I say anything that may be controversial, suspect, or too good to be true, and I don't have the evidence to back it up, then call me a liar, but I guarantee you that won't happen.
Yeah, I don't know, this might be just me, but whenever I hear an exposed video start off by saying, everything I'm about to say is 100% facts, it kind of leaves me thinking that this video is going to be heavily contestable in some way. Like, if everything you say is truly 100% facts, the audience should be able to determine that from the evidence you provide. So, yeah, I don't know, this intro message just seems kind of unnecessary. But whatever, you know, maybe it's a legal thing or a show of good faith that he's up to receiving criticism, if you will. So let's just move along.
February 2nd, 2024, I went snowboarding like I normally do, and I got an email in which I thought was a scam. I mean, for real, look at this. Even you would think the same thing if you got a random email saying MrBeast follow-up when you didn't even remember reaching out in the first place. Whether that's true or not, I certainly don't remember reaching out to him. In my line of work, I work for big name YouTubers, mostly in the sports niche, but it has its range. I've done videos for House of Highlights, Game Day, Zach TTG, Jesser, Papa Stanimus, Not So Air Jordan, and then I currently edit for MMG. Not to mention I did do the 2022 NFL playoff commercials. So it's pretty normal to have people reach out to me because they've seen my work from other creators and all the other work that I've done for them. So when I got this email, I decided to give it a chance. I responded in the email and then I proceeded to post a Facebook post because I was so happy. Everything is dated, and to make sure this information is credible, it helps it set well with you. Pay attention to these days. It's not premeditated, and I obviously had no idea Chris Tyson would be such a perv, so there's no way I would make these posts in advance of like some kind of trick. I also have decided to log into my actual Facebook and show my actual email rather than screenshots, so you know that it's not photoshopped.
Yeah, I thought this was actually a pretty good idea to show the physical messages from his actual social media page. You know, it's pretty easy to fake screenshots nowadays, so, you know, not a bad idea at all to prove legitimacy there.
MrBeast gave me a fake job, flew me out there to work. I worked my butt off, took all my ideas, sent me home and told me there wasn't a job available, and then proceeded to not only do that, but then to take my ideas still and then make a video. So that's what we're going to be covering here. So I want to talk a little bit more about my experience of being at the MrBeast warehouse. I've never once personally ever signed an NDA. In all my emails and all my correspondences and all my text messages, I have never once ever signed an NDA. But what I think what they're doing, there is an iPad as soon as you get to the warehouse, as soon as you walk in, and you have to sign in. And they ask you things like your first name, last name, email address, all that, phone number and stuff like that. And I have a very, very, very high suspicion that when you sign your name in there and you sign in, I think you're also signing an NDA. They don't come out and say it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. That's just something that I think. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying I'm thinking, because I don't want to get sued by them, because I'm, like I said earlier, I'm a nobody.
So you remember at the start of the video how you wanted us to call you out when we smelt some bullshit? Well, guess what? My nose is catching a whiff of some cow dung. There is absolutely no evidence given for this theory that you have that MrBeast made you secretly sign an NDA, or that this is a practice that they indulge in. I understand this is a theory that you have and it's not a concrete accusation like your idea getting stolen, but even theories have to be based in some sort of contextual fact, and this thought kind of just seemed to come out of nowhere. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that this is probably some exquisite cap that you are spewing, my good sir. Do better.
Anyways, I get to the warehouse and they have multiple different like studios. Studios as in workshops where you work at, creative, thumbnail, editing, ideation, all these things, right? So they take me to, for legal purposes, I will say, for legal reasons, I will say Studio 1. Studio 1 of creative. I go to Studio 1, you know, whatever, it's all right. We're working on the video. We're doing the, in 10 minutes, like actual 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, this video explodes. And I mean, this building explodes. I worked on that for a little bit. Wasn't really feeling it. Wasn't really my jam. We went out. I will put a little video up here of me working on like a little laser challenge for that. It wasn't really my jam. Wasn't really that good at all either. Anyway, if I'm being honest. So I went to the next one. And by the way, I'm sorry, I'm skipping all over the place. This was actually the second day of me being there, because the first day I spent my entire day in my hotel, which was boring, but for whatever reasons, I couldn't go in the first day, so I spent the first day in my hotel. The second day is when I would start, you know, going to these workshops. On the third day, I was told to go to a different studio. We'll say Studio 2. And I'm working on a video, and the video is, what was the video's name? It was another one that had nothing to do with anything. Anyways, I go through the whole day, or well, I say a good portion of the day, about 5 hours. So around like 2:00 p.m. there's a guy named Hoodie. It was also in one of the emails earlier, and he's like and when it comes to chain of command, I think he's third in chain of command total. So you have MrBeast, you have Tyler, you have Jackson the head writer, and then you have Hoodie. And Hoodie was in charge of all these things. I actually had my vibe check call with Hoodie. I had my second call with Hoodie. I was in contact with Hoodie and Leslie, the coordinator, if you remember that. And everything was going through Hoodie. The guy's a great guy. He's a great guy. He took care of me. He really like gave me great information, great feedback. So as I'm going through this video, I want you guys to remember, I'm not attacking these people. I'm attacking the company, because whatever happens in the company is a reflection of MrBeast. It's not a reflection of the people who are doing the things what they're doing. Your company is a reflection of what happens. It doesn't matter who does it. If your company is ran that way, it is a reflection of you. You got to take responsibility here.
I mostly agree with this to a certain extent. If your idea was truly stolen, and based on the pictures we'll see in a bit, it really does look like that's a strong possibility here, blame should definitely fall on the shoulders of MrBeast. I mean, it's his company, his channel. He approves the ideas at the end of the day, so if he knowingly did this, he is definitely an El Dickhead. Where I differ here, however, is that any of Jimmy's lackeys get a pass or should be allowed less of a punishment for any wrongdoing they possibly engaged in. At the end of the day, yes, you're working for MrBeast, but you're still human. You have a brain, an agency. So if you're knowingly doing something wrong and continue to go through with it, you honestly deserve to take the responsibility when it blows up in your face later, regardless of if you're the leader or not. We already saw this with Chris Tyson, so, I just hope that we keep the same energy if it's discovered that any of MrBeast's other employees did equally as heinous shit. But yeah, that's just my thoughts, They should all burn in Allah's glorious light of creation.
To show some videos and proof of what I did. From here on out, I'm going to start speaking more theoretically so I don't get sued. So there may or may not have walls in the MrBeast studio where they're all dry erase marker where you can just write anything. So if you have an idea, you're like, oh crap, I don't want to forget it, right on the wall. This is a picture of my pitch that I wrote. So you see right here, you get really close. Bloodthirst. Let's see. Hellevator. Let's even get close. Glass challenge right here. PT hallway. Sound familiar? It's my prompt. So this is what I pitched to Hoodie. This is what I pitched to Hoodie. And I didn't put my variations in there. I just put the ones that I wanted. And I verbally said my variations just in case they didn't like my original ones. This is the world's most dangerous obstacle course. So C1 has been working on this with me and the other guy, I don't know his name, and we're working on, like, as you can see, the intro, the hook, the money mechanic. Right here, we're looking at, this is the most important part, it's just rooms. When I saw rooms, when we were brainstorming rooms, I'm like, dang, okay, rooms. I just did a prompt on the world's dangerous trap rooms. This is perfect. I can do this. It doesn't exactly follow the obstacle course, so I can kind of use my room idea with this. I mean, if you look at all these ideas, whatever, it doesn't matter. The one thing that I'm looking at the most is all the way at the bottom. It looked like it says Marlo, but it says Mario. Mario is my was my idea. I'm inspired by Mario because my kids love the Mario movie. They loved it so much they named my dog Mario. Hold on. Mario, come here. Good boy. This is Mario, my dog. Living proof that my kids named my dog Mario because they love the movie Mario so much. So I was inspired by that. And I think I put that in my prompt as well. If anyone's ever seen Mario, they have the floating blocks. And I wanted to see how I can make an obstacle course with those floating blocks. I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought about it and I realized it's just impossible to make floating blocks in the air. I don't know how you would do it. Logistically, it's just not going to work, and physically, I don't think it would work either. So I came up with the idea with a trellis net, or I came out the deal with the truss. Taking a look at this picture right here. So this was my idea here. I wanted to make an obstacle course in the air, but like somehow incorporate it with the Mario idea. Somehow just, I don't know, somehow do that. This is a picture that I drew for this pitch for this idea. And I realized that, you know what? I couldn't do the floating blocks, so I wanted to make sure I can do it another way. So I had an idea of a truss with 4 cranes holding it up, and I wanted to be able to go across it. That was just the first section of it. Because if you look a little bit more to the right of this picture, there's like a helicopter and a guy hanging from a ladder, and there's platforms down here, 1, 2, and 3. There's platforms right there. That was just the first section of it. I wanted the intro of the video to be something so outlandish, so crazy that a viewer had to keep watching. So at this point, I've pitched my idea. They love it. They've set a date, they set a location, and now they have a new renewed budget for this video, and everything's great. I'm so happy. I text all my friends, I call everyone. I'm like, yeah, dude, and also, so after all that, I'm feeling great. I got a verbal confirmation that I was good to go. Everything was perfect. I know about everything was literally perfect until I got home. And that's when everything started to happen. Unfortunately, we have decided not to move forward with your candidacy at this time. We really appreciate you coming out and vibing with us. We would consider you for a role like this in the future, but timing isn't quite right. And the rest are about receipts. So at first I was like, you know what? Maybe that's true. But then I started to think about a little bit more. And I didn't want to let it bother me. So I said, hey Dylan, that's a bummer to hear, but I appreciate the opportunity. Maybe another time, like you said. Candidly, may I ask if I presented myself poorly or rubbed the crew wrongly in any way? Talking about era because I know I did. Also, I sent my receipts. And this was talking about my dog because I had to spend like $400 for my dog to be boarded. Sent all that information. He said, "Hello, Ty. You did not rub anyone the wrong way or present yourself poorly. We're going through some reorganization with the team and are limited on roles we have open for teams. I appreciate you sending the receipt. Blah blah blah. Whatever." This is where I started to like say, but I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything at all. Not a single word until I saw this on Twitter. Just uploaded the most insane video we've ever done. Go watch. Take a look at this picture. Take a good hard look at this picture. Does that remind you of anything you've seen so far? Does it remind you of anything you've seen remotely close to it? Or does it look like the exact same thing that I drew? The exact same thing that I pitched? Everything. Do you want to know how much I got paid for that? Zero. I didn't get paid a single dime. This man, this company, his employees not only took the time to exploit me, to have me work for them under the false pretenses of a job that wasn't, that they weren't available or able to give at the time, yet they had many people go in and out, in and out.
Oh me, oh my. Looks like another Tyrone has been absolutely finessed and bamboozled by the white man. Tragic. No, but seriously, that is that is pretty fucked up if this is real. The similarity in the drawings, if we are believing they are actually Ty Orr's, and the final product is, it's pretty damn close. Not to mention the fact that he was oddly rejected after they allegedly loved his idea. Yeah, there are a lot of red flags going off here for sure. Now again, this could be a situation in which one of the staff felt slighted and just took credit for the work. Ended up running to Jimmy, and Jimmy didn't really bother looking into it too much about where the original idea came from. I would say that's a pretty likely possibility, considering Ty Orr mentioning he kind of pissed off one of the head creatives by coming up with a better idea than they did. But if this is the case, again, that kind of shows more negligence on MrBeast's side of things, as well as a lack of integrity from all of the staff who observed or knew this guy took credit for someone else's work. These are all accusations at the end of the day, so, who knows what the fuck really happened here. But optics-wise, not another great look for MrBeast. At all. Now, Ty Orr wraps up the video essentially making a plea for money from his fans in order to be, reimbursed for his idea, I guess, which I am really not a big fan of. And it looks like he wasn't either, because he ended up removing the link to the GoFundMe from his description, which I can only assume was probably due to the backlash or his brain coming back down to earth. But yeah, another chapter in the never-ending MrBeast allegations. Can't wait for next week when he's accused of eating kittens. Hey, what's up guys? Post-editing Ned here. So, peeping Ty Orr's channel, I just saw that he actually released a part 2 to his accusations or allegations recently, just a few hours ago today actually, while I was just editing this to upload. So I thought I'd throw it in here, just for prosperity's sake. Not too much really goes down in the video. He just kind of goes into more details about how his original video was a bit messy and he just wanted to clarify a few things in this, how the environment at MrBeast Corporation was very cultish. He used the words. A lot of people didn't want to be there. Some more proof that a lot of MrBeast videos were fake. He said that I believe one of the guys who was a contestant in his video idea that he claims was stolen, was walking around the set while they were creating the shit. So yeah, and I don't really care about MrBeast's videos being fake. Again, I had a pretty good idea that it probably was fake to some degree already. So that's kind of, whatever. But more proof that the videos are fake. So I guess if you care about that, there's that. He also apologized for the GoFundMe, which I thought was a smart move. It's kind of dumb to make a GoFundMe for this. I'm glad that he kind of thought over that a bit and reconsidered, but yeah, that was pretty much it. Not really any other additional details too much, just more so clarification on a few things and just acknowledgement of his previous video's faults, or some of the faults. But yeah, just thought I'd throw it in here. I'm tired. Anyway, MrBeast has been pretty hush-hush about pretty much all of the allegations that have been released against him so far. There's been rumors that he's going to make a video responding to everything. I hope he does, because if he continues the silent treatment here, the shit's not looking too good for him. He has to respond at this point. There's just too much allegations being laid out against him at this point. It's too much to ignore. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does say, if he is going to make a response, but Yeah, this is pretty bad, and it could very well be the end of his career, possibly, if this response is dog shit. So I guess we will just wait and see what happens there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What you guys think of all these allegations so far. What do you think will be released next? And do you think that Jimmy can come back from this? Do you think his response will answer all of these allegations and prove his innocence? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to go to bed now. It's kind of late-ish, or at least late for me. I'm an old man now, so, you know, you'll have to allow me, kids, children. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.